All right, welcome everybody that's here. Welcome Internet. Welcome Dodie. This is Tuesday night, so every Tuesday we have show and share, and have for many years now, where people show off projects they're working on, in progress or failed or completed. We like to see it all. We like to see how things are made. I'd like for you to share it. So we have a sign-up list. The people signed up as they came in, so we're going to start with that. First up, we have Thea, who's going to show off boxes.
Well, most of you know I'm involved mostly in fiber arts right now, and I do a lot of not just crochet and knitting, but embroidery as well. So a while back I made this, which is a crazy quilt embroidery technique, but I got tired of the plain embroidery, so I started looking into the different types of ribbon embroidery. But silk ribbon can be kind of expensive if you just buy specific colors, so I bought a lot on eBay. And it didn't quite fill the box, but there was way too much to not keep it in a box. And it finally annoyed me on the living room floor. So I bought some power tools, and the Ryobi batteries came in 4 of these boxes. I'm like, I can use that. So I cut it in half. And then after looking at a couple of different things on eBay, I ended up doing this wrapped box. Just wrapping half of the Ryobi box. And that's easy. But it's kind of boring. So then I decided to try the other technique I saw, which is you make the whole box instead of just wrap it in fabric. So you start off with your side panels wrapped in fabric. Then you glue the fronts and the backs together to cover up all of the stitching you did to keep your fabric tight. And then I was hoping to have this box finished today, but then I got a paper cut on my pointer finger at work, and that made pulling the needle very difficult. So the box base is finished, and I'll pass it around. The only thing not attached is the lid. But then I set the lid in place, and I figured, well, you better put a knob on it because you're never going to know where it opens. So even if I had finished the box, it wouldn't be finished. So any questions?
What will you use for a knob? Have you decided what you'll craft it from?
I haven't decided yet. What I'm leaning towards at this point, because that's going to be a Christmas gift for my mom, is there is a way to make fabric wrapped buttons. So I could take any long shank button and wrap it in the same yellow fabric as the interior and use that as an accent on the exterior.
So is it cardboard in the middle that's wrapped?
Yeah, most of those boxes are made with the harder chipboard fiberboard, and they recommend 2 millimeters for the exterior to make sure it's sturdy. That one, I only had one sheet, so the top and the bottom are recycled. I just cut the right size out of corrugated, and it is not as sturdy. I don't recommend that technique.
I've got blanks and dies for doing the fabric wrap buttons.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you.
All right. Watch out, woodworking. Boxes are no longer your territory. Next up is Neil, who's going to show off Martin's cookie.
In the world of woodworking, especially wood turning, if you cut a thin slice of wood perpendicular to the length of the tree, you get a thin slice of wood that's referred to as a cookie. So a couple of months ago, Martin invited me over to his property to see a large cherry tree that had come down, and I was fortunate to get some of the pieces, and we also cut off a cookie. And normally I don't like, well, let me back that up. For those of you who may not be aware, there's two, in the wood turning world, there's end grain and side grain that you're turning. If the orientation is that you're going to hollow out going front this way, then that's you're hollowing out end grain. If you're going to put the piece of wood this way and you're turning it, then you're doing side grain. I don't like turning end grain because it's not easy to cut and it's messy because it comes out more like dust than it does shavings. But this particular piece of wood really did intrigue me, and I put it on the lathe and I cut it, and it was not your typical piece of cherry. And it has a lot of the dark streaks in it. And the other thing that turning something like this end grain, you get a lot of cracks. So a few cracks did develop here. But I think it makes a nice little either table centerpiece or just a platter for whatever. And I also left it a little bit heavy because the smaller, narrower foot, the heavier it is, the less likely it is to tip over when you put something in there. And so that's, I used a rosewood bottom that I put on it here. And you can see some of the cracks there coming out. But they've stopped getting larger, so I think the wood has dried and it's pretty much stabilized now. So, any questions? Okay. Oh, Martin.
I brought another cherry cookie tonight, so but you're not obligated to make that dust with it.
Well,
Someone else will want to with that example.
At least no one made any comments about needing a big glass of milk to eat this cookie with.
How did you hold that in the way?
Okay, started out with a sacrificial piece of wood on this side, glued to it so that I could screw the faceplate on and not have the holes come out later. And then I turned a recess on the bottom, which gave me a place to use the scroll chuck, expand it, and then it held it in there, and then I turned it back around, finished off the inside, cut away the sacrificial block, and then finished turning the inside, and then turned it back over and just did some extra sanding here.
What's the finish?
Because I thought it might come in contact with food, I just used walnut oil.
How long does it take to turn something like that?
In my hours or your hours? It was over a period of about 3 weeks, so that because it was still had a lot of moisture, water content in it, and I was concerned about the cracking. First, I turned away a lot of it to relieve the stresses in the wood, and then I let it sit for about another 2 weeks. But in actual turning time, probably about 4 hours between turning and sanding. Well,
How long did you let the cookie dry before you started thinking about turning it?
it's not that I let it dry, it's just that I couldn't get to it because of everything else I was involved in. So it was probably from the time it was cut off the tree before I put it on the lathe, close to a month. Good. Okay.
Thank you, Neil. All right, next up is Jake with YAGR, or yet another game restoration.
Hi, guys. I originally was planning to come here tonight to ask for help, but in a fortunate and somewhat whimsical turn of events, I have success stories, 2 of them to share. Who remembers Pong? This belongs to a distant cousin of mine. It's a Coleco Telestar from 1976. He said it wasn't working. He asked me to get it working and to make it modern or compatible with modern machines. So it was completely dead on arrival when I got it. I got a hold of a multimeter and did some basic just path checking, seeing what components may have failed where, and I found a transistor that went bad. So I swapped that out, and I was able to get a picture out of it, which was super exciting at the time. For a sense of scale, let's see. So, you know, you can hear some sound, but the picture was all garbled. For a sense of time for this happened back in September of last year, and I told this cousin of mine, I'm not experienced with electronics, this may take some time, you know. And it has. So I got the transistor swapped out in April, and I was able to produce this picture. But like I said, I'm not very experienced with the ways of troubleshooting, so I went the long route around to get this done. I was at a thrift store, and I found this. It is a secondary screen for a car DVD player, and what excited me about it was it had a video in port right there over Ethernet, which was a little weird. So I thought to myself, if I'm going to take this thing to the makerspace and get some help with it, I need to have a TV screen, you know, made for it. So I rigged up this little gizmo. It injects USB power over this Ethernet cable, and also patches in composite video, which is what is necessary for a console like this. But again, with my timescales, this is all taking place over the course of months, working with it for just a couple of minutes here and there. Finally, last night, I printed the enclosure, held together with rubber bands. I'm not showing you the inside. Y'all don't deserve to see that level of mess and hot glue. I put it together last night to bring it here and present my problem after, you know, checking so many other different circuits and still coming up with a fuzzy screen. And lo and behold, when I hooked everything up, it worked. Like, straight up. It was not anything wrong with the console itself. My TV didn't like it. So, yeah, I was able to pull that off. I was hoping I'd have all this assembled by the time I ran through my story, but yeah, we're just going to plug through this real quick. There we go. We got one light there, and oh, I guess I had to actually turn on that power pack. Yeah. So this makes for the first thing I've ever fixed through basic circuit troubleshooting, and probably the oldest. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, this is made in '76, and I'm trying. Dude, okay, so the delay is terrible, actually, between one screen and the other. Oh, I forgot. You have to actually hit the reset button for the paddles to register. There we go. Yeah. So if anyone wants to come check this out and ask a couple more questions about it, I'll be in the hospitality area. Any questions for the moment? All right, thank you, guys.
For a moment there, I thought you were just terrible at that game.
Not wrong.
All right. Last up on the list is Andrew, who says yippee-ki-yay. So.
I'm not going to lie, it's going to be hard to beat, you know, that last presentation. Oh my goodness, I'm thoroughly impressed. Huh? Yeah. All right. So, as you all know, I'm deeply involved in making an interactive Nakatomi Plaza project. And I was looking for different solutions for voice processing. I come across this little guy right here. How do I zoom in on this thing? Let's see here. I don't know, whatever. Okay. And all it is, it has like a little speaker to it and it's a microphone, and you can train it to recognize certain commands. Now, let's see if I can get this thing right on the first try. Hey, robot. No. Hey, robot. Hello, robot. You guys hear that? You guys, all right. Yippee-ki-yay.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. All right. So I got it to learn the phrase yippee-ki-yay.
Yes,
and you should see the LED light up. See that? Yippee-ki-yay.
How can I help?
And then yep, there she goes. So yeah, that's how I can interact with voice commands with my LEDs. And during my testing, the microphone actually heard the laptop speakers. Yeah, I know you're off. Anyways, it actually heard the microphone or the speakers on the laptop saying, "Hey, robot," and it actually picked it up. And so seems pretty viable. I wish I could have a better demo for you, but I just got this module in the mail today. I'm like, okay, I've got to have something tonight. And so that's what happened. So yeah.
Or did you just find an open source voice processing library for Windows system, or what's the software package?
As far as I could tell, I mean, this is all of the front end and back end. Like this whole thing. Like all I had to do is I just had to train it on the voice commands that I wanted. I had to do like a "Hey robot." Let's see, "Hey robot," or "Hello robot."
How can I help?
There it is. Learn new phrase. Learn new phrase. Is that it? It's something. But you can. Yeah.
Will you be able to get this to listen to the movie?
Yeah.
And reply
Yeah.
with the lights as
Yeah.
that's going on?
Yeah. See, I don't think I have to say that key phrase. Yippee-ki-yay.
How can I help?
And it reacted. I didn't have to say, "Hey robot," initially, right? I just had to say yippee-ki-yay, and it heard it. Yeah? So yeah, it can be done. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I found this online. I'm like, yep, I'm buying this. So yeah, that's what happened.
I'm off now.
So anything else?
Is it just a single wire for the command coming out of that module, or?
No, it has transmit and receive. It has, it's using UART communication protocol. Yeah, so it's got that full duplex.
So what's the goal with it? Like you're gonna speak to it, or it's gonna react to the movie, and then stuff's gonna happen on the model? Is that?
Yeah, what's going to happen is that it can dynamically hear commands, and as it hears phrases or sound effects in the movie, it will light up in certain sections of the building. So yeah. So, all right. Anything else? So, all right, great. Thanks.
All right, anybody else that didn't get on the list? Yeah, come on.
Howdy, y'all. For those who don't know me, my name's Sam Kreitz. This is only my second time doing this. I recently moved to Knoxville just around 2-3 months ago, and this is one of the first places I found, and super love it. Moving into a brand new place. I'm only 24, and I'm now living in a place that is bigger than all my belongings are capable of filling. So I've been working on how to fill that space, and my best answer for that has been woodworking some furniture. So you may have been here when I presented my last projects, which were a cutting board and this 8.5-foot long plank I intended to be a guitar rack. That is not great. Yeah, let's plus. Excellent. All right, how's that? So I intended for these to match because I want these things to really create a cohesive environment and to be able to point to things like that's something I worked on, or that's something I put a little more care into actually curating for this space. So I love the contrasting stripes of walnut here against maple, which I'm sticking with, and that is. So this was the state of things when I presented last time, and this is how it turned out, where So my buddy James, who helped me mount this, is here right now. He's going to be the next great woodworker here. And he helped me put it on the wall. So shout out James. And fills the space super, super well. Really, really love it. And I'm working on the next one, which I brought here, which is a monitor stand. And I'm a software guy professionally. I write code for circuit boards. And so I'm working from home, and I am also a tall guy, and it's nice to have a little bit of height to the monitors so that they match my stature. So this is my desk. You can see it super clearly, of course. But I've been working on this for a little bit, and I took about a week in between working on it because I was on a trip. So I brought it home and gave it a test run. Absolutely love it. And this is it right here. It's pretty long, wide. It's got the stripes of walnut that I was looking for, plus this piece of poplar, I believe. Came with this cool live edge on the front, which once planed looked really symmetrical, and I really loved it, and it adds a ton of character. So now it's the front of the monitor stand. You can kind of see in the photo there. But right now we're finishing up the last phases of sanding. Gonna put the first coat of finish on tonight, and really excited for whatever the next one will be, which I believe is gonna be a cabinet for my vinyl records as well, which is gonna go under my TV stand. Russell.
What kind of finish are you going to use?
I believe I'm going to go with the Minwax finish, which is just a light stain, and then just maybe one coat of polyurethane or something to really make it pop, which I did for the guitar rack and absolutely loved. Yes, Neil.
How'd you join the corners?
Corners are joined, they're biscuit joined. So I put some biscuits in at 45-degree angles here, cut them down to be much smaller than your average biscuit so that they'd fit, but it's just a 45-degree angle because I don't know how to do a dovetail joint, but I hope to learn fairly soon. I am still an amateur. Thank you, Russell, appreciate it. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you all.
All right, anybody else? Going once, twice? All right, we have a whole bunch of classes sold out, so sorry. We do have a few things that don't have class limits, like Stitch and Bitch this Saturday, so that's the Fiber Arts Zones social get-together time. Next Tuesday after Show and Share is a new member onboarding. If you are a new prospective member or you've never done it before, or you just want to learn more about how everything is, why we do what we do and what we do here, that'll be after Show and Share next week. That's sold out. Next Thursday is the as the lathe turns. That's the social time for the turning people. And then next, the Saturday after that is laser classes, which actually have tickets, so you can buy those. So sign up for those if you want to get off on the laser. Beyond that, look at our calendar. Everything's sold out in the next couple of weeks just about, so you'll have to get beyond that. Also, Isaac had something to talk about?
Just briefly, friends, and this is something that we'll be communicating with you about, I think probably repeatedly in a variety of mediums, but it's a challenge not just here, but in any maker space, I think, and that is that you wind up with a situation where there are projects that are in the workspace and no one really knows why that's there, or if it will ever cease to be there, or if it would be okay to move it, or what would happen if you set it on fire. And it's troublesome because nobody wants to be a jerk to anybody else. Obviously that's important to somebody, but at the same time it's in the way of everybody else, right? And so the board was talking with the czars and czarinas about this, and we have a new system that we're working on that basically we're going to put parking violation tags on projects that have been sitting out where they shouldn't be for too long. And so this is an example right here of your little parking violation tag. Basically, whenever your authorized czar, czarina, probably deputy says, okay, this is just, it's too much, right? You date the card, you put the card on the project. It's got bold red stripies on it, and so hopefully your attention is drawn to that. And the thought is that you set a deadline maybe a couple weeks in the future saying, you know, please, no, seriously, get this out of here. Don't make me set it on fire. And at some point, you're just going to have to do it, right? And so that, I hope, is going to help resolve that problem and make the workspaces more accessible for everyone in a uniform fashion. So hopefully you'll see these things as necessary throughout the workshop instead of there being as many solutions to that problem as there are problems, right? One of the things that's tricky about it is, of course, here I am telling you about it, but y'all are what, 15% of the membership and probably 0% of the stuff heaped up in the workshop. And so part of the dilemma that we have, and this really spreads out to the whole organization, is that some people are not going to hear an announcement on a Tuesday night or see it posted on Mattermost necessarily. And so part of the way this whole thing works in my mind is we got to communicate with each other. And so when you're in the workshop at other than Tuesday times, working with people who you don't so much see on Tuesdays, just have a word with them about it, And if you happen to see one of these tags and it comes up, make sure everybody understands what the deal is, Nobody's going to be doing this for fun. It's going to be a little bit of suck for everybody, but hopefully in the long run, it makes things smoother for everyone. So thank you very much.
All right, everybody. If you are new here, you want to learn more about the organization, or you need a tour or something, come see somebody with a red badge. We'll make sure we get that done, answer your questions, show you around the place. If trashes are full, take them out. If filters need changed, please change them. And that's it. Let's go out to the workshop.